Hi, Reddit. I'm a 28-year-old woman named Sarah, and I find myself in a situation I never imagined I'd be in. I feel lost and utterly heartbroken, and I need some perspective to help me sort through this mess. A bit of background. I've been engaged to my fiancé, Jake, who is 30, and we've been together for 4 wonderful years. At least I thought they were wonderful. Jake is charming, funny, and has always been my rock. We met at a mutual friend's birthday party, and from that moment on, we were inseparable. We moved in together after a year of dating, and life felt perfect. We shared dreams, made plans, and were eagerly anticipating our wedding, which was just 2 months away. Jake's bachelor party was scheduled for last weekend. We had discussed it extensively beforehand. He and his closest friends were heading to Las Vegas for a few days of fun and relaxation. I'm not naive. I know what can happen at bachelor parties, especially in Vegas. But Jake assured me that it would be low-key, just gambling, shows, and enjoying time with his buddies. We even agreed on certain boundaries. No hiring dancers or going to clubs that could lead to uncomfortable situations. I wasn't comfortable with that, and he respected my feelings, promising to keep things within those limits. Trusting him completely, I was totally on board with it. Fast forward to Saturday night. I was at home, curled up on the couch with a bowl of popcorn, binge-watching my favorite show. The house was quiet except for the dialogue from the TV. Around 11 p.m., my phone buzzed. Glancing at it, I saw a message from Jake's best friend, Mike. Mike and I have always been friendly. He's a good guy, and I considered him a friend as well. Seeing his name pop up didn't alarm me. I opened the message, expecting perhaps a funny update or a silly photo from their trip. Instead, my heart dropped into my stomach. The message contained a series of photos showing Jake with another woman at a club. In the pictures, he had his arm around her waist, and they were laughing together, their faces close. One photo showed her hand resting on his chest, and another, more alarming, showed his hand on her chest and her hand on his groin area. It was clear they were being extremely touchy and inappropriate. The caption from Mike read, "Thought you'd want to see what your fiancé is up to. Not cool, man." I stared at the screen, my mind racing. At first, I couldn't process what I was seeing. This couldn't be real. Jake wouldn't do this to me. Not Jake. Not the man who looked into my eyes every day and told me he loved me. I felt a mix of confusion, hurt, and a growing anger bubbling up inside me. Desperate for answers, I called Mike immediately. My hands were shaking as I dialed his number. He picked up on the second ring, the background noise of loud music and chatter indicating he was still at the club. "Mike, what's going on?" I asked, trying to keep my voice steady. He sighed, sounding genuinely apologetic. "Sarah, I'm so sorry to be the one to tell you this, but I couldn't just stand by and watch. Jake has been all over this girl all night. It's not just harmless flirting. They've been kissing, and it's getting pretty intense." I felt tears welling up in my eyes. "Are you sure? Maybe it's just... I don't know. Maybe it's a misunderstanding?" "I wish it was," Mike replied softly. I tried talking to him, but he brushed me off. "I thought you deserved to know." I thanked him, my voice barely above a whisper, and hung up the phone. The room seemed to spin around me. I sat there for what felt like hours, though it was probably just minutes, as waves of emotions crashed over me. Betrayal, sadness, rage. Unable to stay in the house filled with memories of us, I grabbed my keys and drove to my parents' place across town. They were surprised to see me at such a late hour, but one look at my face and they knew something was terribly wrong. I broke down in tears, explaining everything between sobs. They held me, offering comfort but no easy answers. The next morning, after a sleepless night, I mustered the courage to call Jake. My heart pounded as the phone rang. He answered on the 4th ring, his voice cheerful. "Hey babe, how's everything?" I couldn't believe his nonchalance. "Jake, I need to ask you something, and I need you to be honest with me," I said, trying to keep my voice steady. "Sure, what's up?" he replied casually. "I got some pictures from Mike last night," I began, pictures of you with another woman? Care to explain?" There was a long pause. When he finally spoke, his tone had changed. "Sarah, it's not what it looks like." "Then what is it?" I pressed. He sighed. "Look, it was just a bit of fun. The guys and I were out and things got a little wild. But it didn't mean anything. You're overreacting." "Overreacting?" I felt my anger flare. "We agreed on boundaries, Jake. You promised me no dancers, no whatever this is. How could you?" "It was just harmless fun," he insisted. "It's my bachelor party. Isn't that what guys do?" I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "So cheating is just harmless fun to you?" "I can't marry someone who disrespects me like this." He started to panic. "Wait, Sarah, don't do anything rash. It was a mistake. I was drunk and it didn't mean anything. Please, let's talk about this." "I think we're past talking," I said firmly. "I need some time to think." I hung up the phone, my hands trembling. Part of me wanted to forgive him, to believe that it was a one-time lapse in judgment. But another part of me couldn't ignore the betrayal. Trust is the foundation of any relationship, and mine was shattered. Over the next few days, Jake bombarded me with calls and messages, begging me to reconsider. He sent flowers to my parents' house, wrote long emails professing his love and regret, and even got some of our mutual friends to reach out on his behalf. It was overwhelming. My friends were supportive but had mixed opinions. Some said that maybe I should give him another chance, that bachelor parties can get out of hand, and perhaps he genuinely regretted his actions. Others agreed that I was right to end things, emphasizing that trust once broken is hard to rebuild. I wrestled with my thoughts endlessly. Was I making a mistake by throwing away 4 years over a night of stupidity? But then I'd recall the images, the way he tried to downplay it, and my resolve would harden. Yesterday, I agreed to meet Jake in person, hoping for some closure. We chose a neutral location, a quiet coffee shop downtown. He looked disheveled, dark circles under his eyes, clearly not having slept well. I probably didn't look much better. "Thank you for meeting me," he said softly. I nodded, not trusting myself to speak without breaking down. "Sarah, I am so sorry," he began, reaching across the table to take my hand. I pulled back. "I messed up. I was drunk and I let things go too far. But I love you more than anything. Please, can we work through this?" I took a deep breath. "Jake, it's not just about what you did. It's about the fact that you broke my trust and then tried to dismiss my feelings. You knew how I felt about this kind of thing, and you agreed to those boundaries. If you can't respect me before we're even married, how can I trust you afterward?" He looked down, fiddling with his coffee cup. "You're right. I screwed up. But I promise I'll make it up to you. I'll do anything." I stood up, gathering my things. "I appreciate your honesty now, but I can't build a marriage on broken trust. I hope you learn from this and become a better person, but I can't be with you." Without waiting for a response, I walked out. It was one of the hardest things I've ever done, but I knew in my heart it was the right decision. Now I'm back home, trying to put my life back together. My friends are supportive, but I can't shake the feeling that I'm making a mistake by leaving him. Doubts creep in. Did I overreact? Should I have given him another chance? Is it possible to rebuild trust after such a betrayal? I turned to Reddit because I need unbiased opinions. Am I the asshole for ending our engagement after finding out about the cheating? Should I have handled things differently? Additional information. I realize some might think that just holding someone's waist and laughing isn't necessarily cheating. But according to Mike, they were indeed kissing and being extremely touchy inappropriately. In several pictures, Jake had his hand on her chest, and she had her hand on his groin. This wasn't just friendly behavior, it was blatantly crossing the line. Also, we had a clear agreement before he went to Vegas. I told him I wasn't comfortable with him hiring dancers or engaging in any activities that could be seen as disrespectful to our relationship. He agreed wholeheartedly, assuring me that he wouldn't do anything to jeopardize our trust.